The letter for the pastoral care of homosexual individuals was read in front of Pope John Paul II in Rome on October 1st of 1986. The Pope approved this letter, which was adopted in an ordinary session of the Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith and ordered for it to be published. The letter addresses common misconceptions about the Catholic Church's teachings in viewpoint of homosexuality and homosexual persons. The first and most important thing to understand about the Church's teachings and beliefs about homosexuality is that the Church takes a very loving approach towards homosexual individuals. The Church believes that the dignity of every person must be respected in every word, action, and law. Any actions that go against this belief should be condemned by the pastor in any setting. The second most important thing to understand is that the inclination of homosexual person is not a sin. It is a tendency ordered toward an intrinsic moral evil. What this means is that being homosexual is not a sin in itself, but acting on your desires is. Homosexual persons are called to be chaste much the same as anyone else is until they are married. This leads to the third point, that homosexual people are often misled that they cannot be Catholic or follow the will of the Lord. This common misconception is wrong and is one that should be worked to undo. A homosexual person can indeed follow the will of God as long as they practice a chaste life and accept whatever suffering may come from such a life, including ridicule linked to their homosexuality. A homosexual person must simply offer up their suffering as must everyone else, because that is a way to eternal life. Another point people should be aware of is that oftentimes people use scriptures to defend homosexuality and say that it either isn't mentioned in the Bible or that the Bible condones it. This is in fact untrue. In Leviticus chapter 18, verse 22, the Bible talks about people who acted upon homosexual desires were not listed as some of the chosen people. The final point I think that people should be aware of is that if a homosexual person is seeking counseling or advice, they should do so only from their pastor who has been trained to deal with such situations. Oftentimes, people are misled because some groups of people claim to be on the side of the Catholic Church only with the intention to blur the lines and make people think that homosexuality is morally acceptable, either to confuse a person or to try to spread the belief that homosexual tendencies are in fact morally acceptable. For more information on the pastoral care of homosexual individuals, I would advise talking to your pastor who has been trained on such matters.